I'm finally getting around to playing Blue-White Affinity, which engine is very different from the Grixis variant, where we might see all that glitters and evasion happening in the Blue-White section. We see a lot more recursion and removal in the Grixis variant, and we're going to see the pros and cons of the Blue-White version here in these Pauper games today, so hope you enjoy All That Glitters. Coming up on game 1, I decided to take a mulligan. That first hand, too many lands, but here in this case, we got a Frogmite and a Thraben and so much card draw. Our opponent goes Mountain Pass, so probably just going to be some type of burn, but we'll see what their second land is to really confirm it. And there you go. It's some type of burn. We see the Rift Ball come out, the G2 with no haste, which is nice. I don't have to block aggressively here. I play out my Synod, I play the Thraben, I play the Frogmite, and I play the All of the Mind, just in case one of my creatures get removed, get that removal out of there. Now, a lot of my creatures get removed here, and I decide to kind of block all. I've taken a lot of damage here, but I'm going to keep on drawing. A lot of great things are happening here. I have a lot of artifacts. Fortunately, I'm still like 2 off from the Myr Enforcer. I'm going to keep blocking from the creatures. No point in taking that damage if I don't need to. Play out the Moon Circuit because maybe you can like lightning rod some removal if they have it, but they're going to keep throwing a bunch of burn spells at me. It's getting really close. So I'm going to choose to draw some cards, not the type of draws that I need right now. I'm going to swing with both because I can come up with the blocker. I'm then going to return to draw some cards with the Moon Circuit Hacker. Let's see if I can draw anything useful here with the Metallic Rebuke. I really need something a little bit better. So let the first spell resolve here. They're going to decide to play something else. I'm going to tap out all 3 mana for a Fire Blast. I'm then going to counter the last spell, which is a Needle Drop. Now I am precariously on a needle's edge, on a knife's edge at 1 life. Can I find the win? I Thoughtcast into the All That Glitters, and really I make a very big mistake here. I don't actually swing for combat. Please ignore that. Let's just pretend that I did, and our opponent concedes because they can't beat this anyway. So okay, let's just ignore the fact that I didn't swing. Let's go to game 2. Quick interruption to the video, and I hope you're enjoying the content. I just wanted to let you know, as you see on the screen, I've launched a second channel. If you wanted to see arena gameplay, One Piece TCG gameplay, and just mill in general in other forms and other games, then subscribe to the channel, show it some love, and let me know what you think about it as well. But that's it for the interruption. Back to the video. Combat misplays behind us. We mulligan once. Here, I'm going to keep this because the Ornithopter, Springleaf, and an artifact land, I can get off pretty dang quick here. And here in this case, I can actually Thoughtcast on turn 1, which is a lot of value. Blue Elemental Blast, Razortide Bridge. Our opponent plays a Curse of the Pierce Heart, which, honestly, spoiler alert, is going to go a very long way. It's going to end up doing a lot of damage here. So bring in the Moon Circuit, draw some cards, play out our Ornithopters again. I'm going to keep 1 Ornithopter in hand, just make them think we have more spells. They destroy our Moon Circuit Hacker, which is fine. I'm going to keep up the Blue Elemental Blast, going for the Swang, and just hope to find really some type of answer. They're going to put up a Rift Bolt. I'm thinking they have like Skewer the Critics or a bunch of like their hand. They're not really doing anything. So it's either Bolt or Skewer the Critics at this point. I'm not going to play my land. I don't need to. I might as well make them think I have more options. I'm going to counter the Elemental Blast because if my Skewer the Critics idea is right, then they're not casting anything. So I'm going to prevent that as long as I can. Now, Curse the Pierce Heart, deal some damage to us. Darksteel Citadel, we're still going to keep on swanging, but our opponent is going to be at 8 life. That's not that much. They're going to take us to 10. They're going to take us to 7. Thanks to the Rift Bolt here. Curse of the Pierce Heart has us at functionally 6. Do they have the double burn spell? They have the Skewer, and we're gonna wait. Opponent. Take us to 3. Go to combat. Moon Circuit Hacker, something, opponent. There it is. There is the Smash to Smithereens. Now, ultimately, I'm going to try and gain 3 life. I have that as the blocker, but the Fire Blast seals it off. Burn. This is actually a very classic burn list, if you haven't noticed, but let's go to game 3. Fire Blast, Lightning Bolts, and Curse of the Pierce Hearts makes me think I'm in like 2018 Pauper burn, but let's make our opponent work for it. Of One Mind Thoughtcast, there's a lot of card draw here, so it's not super aggressive, but I can find my way into a win. I play out my 2 lands, play the Ornithopter, pay 1 for the Frogmite and 1 for the Thoughtcast. What a beautiful way to just cheat out spells. Gotta love Affinity when it's working for you. Now, the Keldon Marauder, again, just classic burn. We play the Thraben Inspector, draw so many cards thanks to a Moon Circuit Hacker, and play out our board. This is the hand dumping that I just really love from Affinity. Now, we're going to block that out because I don't need to take a bolt's worth of damage. I might as well make the card be a 2-mana shock. They destroy one of our creatures, which is great. I have the All That Glitters, put it on a flyer, and swing in. I don't think our opponent has an answer to that, and at this point, I'm going to be swinging in for at least 10, untap and go for more. I guess they conceded because they just used up their Smash the Smithereens to hit the one creature that might have had the all that glitters, but hey, that's the way the cookie crumbles. Let's go to match number 2. Going into match number 2, this is going to show some of the difficulties that Blue-White Affinity may end up having. We play a tapped artifact. Our opponent has some life gain on their side. We're actually developing really slow. I think this hand is honestly fine. The blue source that we have that's untapped is not an artifact, but we end up finding one. We draw a bunch of cards, end up discarding the non-artifact blue source. Our opponent is bouncing things, playing things. We're going to play out a bunch of spells here. And at this point, draw cards, play out all of our creatures, and hold up a bunch of blockers. We can actually hold up a Metallic Rebuke exactly for a Journey to Nowhere, which is what I wanted to hit. And we are presenting them with a pretty overwhelming board, and we're just going to go in for the attack, get a Moon Circuit in there unblocked, which is going to be great. We're going to draw some cards, find the all that glitters, and at this point hold up Metallic Rebuke and win next turn. This is really powerful. Our opponent main phases a Prismatic Ending or Prismatic Strands for some reason, but hey, take the W. I guess our opponent misplayed. They're really not winning because Prismatic Strands prevents combat damage from a color, not from colorless choices. I think our opponent has to try a little bit better. Let's go to game 2. Going into this game, one thing I really love about the Pauper format is the type of sideboard options that exist, and we're going to see how that really melts us in a second here. We're going to play Ancient Den Pass. We don't really have many great options to play early, and honestly, I probably should have just mulliganed a little bit more aggressively, but I thought this would be fine. And we see the Standard Bearer get played down, and unfortunately, we do not find the answers that we brought in for Standard Bearer anytime soon. So we're going to just play draw go, and fortunately enough, we can actually just play out a bunch of counter magic, prevent some of the life gain from the Lunarch. They evidently have another one. That's fine. We can then, play out our spells, Thoughtcast, keep drawing through. We can present threats and we could do things that way. Unfortunately, with the Journey to Nowhere, we now have like a really dead hand. I'm going to try and rely on like one more draw here. And at this point, it's not looking too good. I don't see how we're really going to get anywhere with this type of hand. 3 lands, 2 all that glitters. This is GG's, honestly, when you come to think of it. We got to call it here. Let's go to game 3. Okay, I get it. Maybe I let go of that game a little bit too early. But look at this one. We multi 5 with the 1-lander. I kind of have to keep it. Like, whatever. I just have to hope to draw in more lands. We have some card draw. We have the Gingerbrute. I'm going to hold up the Clue token to draw. I don't need to play the Gingerbrute for extra damage. I can't even hit it with the Moon Circuit, so whatever. On their turn, draw my cards, do my thing. Whatever. I could have blocked there. That was just some suboptimal things. Here, I'm just going to play out my threats, play my other Clue token. They have the Standard Bearer. Now, can I find the answer to that along with actually presenting them with a threat? Now, I'm going to bring in the Moon Circuit Hacker, draw some cards. Thankfully, I'm finding some lands, which is great when it comes to using up my Clue tokens. And that's going to be a lot of valuable card draw. And thanks to now the Springleaf Drum, I have a blue source, which is also fun. I'm going to draw more and more into honestly useless things, but at least I have a wide board. I'm going to force some blockers on their side, at least with the Moon Circuit. So let that be blocked out. That's one less threat for me to worry about on their end. They're going to draw with the Clue token, but things start going south really quick. They plane cycle, grab an Idyllic Grange and put a 1/1 counter on things. Rafine's Informant puts to graveyard a Battle Screech, and immediately I am so nervous. This is where Blue-White Affinity really starts, you start seeing the cons. You don't really have a good removal suite. It is counter magic, and when your opponent's board is wide, there's not many answers to it. Now, I'm going to draw some more cards. I find the Gut Shot, which is great for the Standard Bearer itself, and great. I have some Gingerbrutes. If I can draw an enchantment here that's going to give my Gingerbrutes massive power toughness swings, then we should be fine, but it really depends on how things work here. Now, I'm going to double block here. 1 Gingerbrute's all I need. I have a Metallic Rebuke, and honestly, admittedly, I could have sacrificed some of those Gingerbrutes to gain some life, but I'm already feeling pretty down on my luck here. It's not feeling that great. I take a giant swing here, and I really need the top deck here. Squadron Hawks are coming down. That is a lot of flying blockers, and that's a lot of chump blockers, notably, that they can hold up. I don't really have many options, and ultimately, that's what leads to me just conceding here. I realize that, look, even if I draw the enchantment here to go into swing, I have the unblockable. They come back on my turn and swing so hard. I really just don't have enough blockers to get anywhere. I can get around Prismatic Strands, but this is a losing battle. I needed it here. GG's.